Good evening, welcome to tonight's episode of the talk show. My name is Elijah Otanimola. Tonight I'll be discussing on the subject forgive yourself and move on. I'll be talking to two categories of people. The first category of people are the people that believe that they have been hurt by someone else and they are now feeling stupid for what they have allowed to happen to them. And the second category of people I'll be talking to are people that believe that they have hurt someone else and they are feeling guilty and ashamed of what they have done. I understand that several times people find it very difficult to forgive themselves. I'm not talking about finding it difficult to forgive others. I've been there myself. A lot of time you feel that you have been stupid to allow some things to have happened to you. You feel you have been stupid to have allowed some circumstances and some situations to actually happen to you. And I understand what you're feeling, I understand how you're feeling. I feel that a lot of time when I make mistakes and I try to get over it, I try to move on. And without you accepting the reality that you have made that certain mistakes and you are human, then you may not be able to move on. Stop feeling guilty. Stop feeling ashamed. Stop feeling stupid. Now I want to talk to those first categories of people. You have felt stupid for allowing some things to happen to you. Perhaps you felt you have been trusting, you trusted your partner too much. You felt you have been blindfolded by the circumstances, by the situations and circumstances around you that you didn't even notice the subtle signs, the warning signs that were there. And now you have actually made a big mistake and you feel stupid for what you have allowed to happen to you. Take for instance, I've heard of situations, of cases of ladies that just discovered on their wedding day that their husband that they have just been married to have been married to someone else. It is difficult not just to forgive the guy, but also to forgive yourself. You feel guilt, you feel how stupid could I have been to actually not see the warning signs? How stupid could I have been to not look through those pretense? Understand how you feel. And I want to tell you this, you deserve another chance. You deserve to forgive yourself. You deserve something better. You deserve a better future. You might have been feeling depressed, but I want to tell you that you need to get out of that depression. I want to tell you that the mistake or the wrong that have been done to you is not all your fault. It's not all your fault so many times because we have found ourselves in such situations. You even add the fault of another person, of the partner, even to yourself. You feel guilty for what you have not actually done wrong. And actually, I'm not saying that what you did was not actually you. I'm not saying that you didn't. You were right not to see through those pretense and things like that. I understand that you should have known better. You should have done something better. You should have actually seen through it. You should have actually taken the advice. You should have actually followed that inward intuition that you felt that you neglected. I'm saying that you should have done it. What I'm saying what I'm saying tonight is that it has been done. The deed has been done already, and you need to forgive yourself. You need to move on. You need to accept the reality that this has happened to you, and you need to find a way to move on. Then how do you move on with this? The first thing you need to do as a person is to actually acknowledge that you have made a mistake. Acknowledge that you have made a mistake. Acknowledge that you are human and that you can make a mistake. Acknowledge that it is part of being human to make a mistake. I'm not saying that you justify your mistakes. I'm not saying that you justify your stupidity, but I'm saying that acknowledge it. Acknowledge that you are human first. Acknowledge that you can make mistakes. Then the second thing I will advise you to do is to take responsibility for the mistakes you have made. Don't run away from those responsibilities. Perhaps you have made a mistake of allowing a guy to deceive you, and now you're pregnant out of wedlock. Take responsibility for that child. Take responsibility for the mistakes you have made. Own up to it. Don't try to push the blame on someone else. Don't try to justify what you have done wrong. Don't try to justify your stupidity and your mistakes. Take responsibility for the mistakes you have made. That's the second thing you should do. Then the next thing you should do is to have self-affirmation. Try to renew your self-esteem. So many times when we feel we have made mistakes, especially when we feel that we should have known better or we should have acted wiser, we tend to lose our self-esteem, our self-confidence. And that's why you need to start reaffirming to yourself that you deserve something better. You need to start reaffirming to yourself that you deserve a better future. You need to start reaffirming to yourself that you can or you deserve another chance. You need to start reaffirming that to yourself. It is very, very important. If you want to move on from that mistake, from the error you have committed, from the stupid decisions you have made, you need to renew and restore your self-esteem. That's what I'm saying, that have self-affirmation. Say to yourself, say it out loud, that I deserve another chance. I deserve a second chance. I know I've made a mistake, but I deserve another chance. I know I've acted stupidly, but I deserve another chance. I know that I should have seen that guy was deceiving me, but I deserve another chance. I know I should have seen that lady was just driving me on, but I deserve another chance. I know that I've been stupid not to follow the intuition that I have on my inside, but I deserve another chance. It could be that you didn't see, that you neglected the intuition that you feel about your child. Perhaps something was telling you that something is wrong with the child, and now the child has made a mistake that has actually affected your family and even you yourself. I want to tell you that you need to restore your self-esteem. Say to yourself, I deserve another chance. Then the next thing you need to do is to start moving on. Start moving on. Anytime you feel down, anytime you feel ashamed of yourself, anytime you feel that you are ashamed of your stupidity and the mistakes you have made, restore that self-affirmation. Recount that self-affirmation and start moving on. Go back to school if you need to go back to school. Take that course again. Give yourself another chance of another relationship. You deserve a better relationship. Because you have been stupid not to see through the brilliance of the other partner that you had, doesn't mean that you shouldn't move on. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve another person. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve a better future. Then as you're taking steps to move on, learn from your mistakes. Please do. Learn from your mistakes. Don't neglect the lessons in those mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. Be sincere about yourself. What have you done wrong? What is it that you should have done better that you didn't do better? Learn from that mistake and take steps, active steps, to ensure that you don't repeat that mistake. That's how you can move on. Take active steps to ensure that you don't repeat that mistake. Give yourself another chance. Give yourself another chance to trust someone again. Give yourself another chance to be transparent to someone again. Perhaps what happened in the past relationship was that you felt that you shouldn't have trusted your partner so much. You felt you shouldn't have been transparent the way you have been transparent. Perhaps that transparency was used against you. Perhaps your trust was betrayed. I want to tell you, the next person that is coming your way, all you need to do is to learn from your mistakes and try to avoid the repetition. But that does not mean that you shouldn't be transparent anymore. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't trust your partner anymore. You just have to be more careful. You just have to be more careful. Tonight, I just want to tell you that you deserve another chance. Forgive yourself and move on. Forgive yourself and move on. Now, to the second category of people, you have hurt someone. You are not the one that have been hurt now. You are not the one that have been hurt. The first category of people I just spoke to, that the people that have been hurt, but they feel that they were stupid to allow themselves to be hurt that way. Now, the second category of people are the people that you are the one that have hurt someone else. You have hurt your partner. You have hurt your spouse. And now you are feeling guilty. It is okay to feel guilty. It is alright to feel guilty. It shows that you still have conscience, that your conscience is still intact. But don't feel ashamed. Don't allow yourself to wallow in shame. Don't allow that guilty to lead to the feeling of shame, of worthlessness. It is wrong for you to have hurt the person. You made a mistake. Just like the first category, you have also made a mistake. You've also made a mistake. Now what you need to do is to forgive yourself and move on. Forgive yourself and move on. Forgive yourself of the mistakes you have made. Oh, perhaps you feel, how could I have made such a mistake to have lost that wonderful person, what a wonderful partner. I took him for granted. I took her for granted. I understand it. So many times you have made such mistakes too. And I want to tell you that you deserve a better future. You deserve a second chance. You deserve another chance. Don't allow yourself to be stuck at that point. Don't allow yourself to be dejected, depressed, and lead to self-rejection. Please don't allow that. Now it is time for you to forgive yourself and move on. What do you need to do? The first thing you need to do, like the other category, is to acknowledge your mistakes. Acknowledge that you are human and that you can make mistakes. Acknowledge that. A lot of time we'll feel that we are above mistakes, especially when we know that we had so much knowledge. Take for instance, for people like us that have a lot of knowledge in certain aspects, because you feel that you have known so much. You have advised people about their relationships. You have counseled people about their relationships. You have told them the mistakes to avoid. The same mistake you told them to avoid, the same mistake you have found yourself making. And now you are feeling ashamed of yourself. I want to tell you, acknowledge that you are human and that you can make mistakes. You can make mistakes. Acknowledge that. That's the first step to healing up. That's the first step to forgiving yourself and to move on. Acknowledge that you are human and that you can make mistakes. The second thing, like the other category, the last category, is to take responsibility for the mistakes you have made. Take responsibility for what you have done to someone else, for the hurt you have caused that person. Take responsibility for it. Don't shy away from it. If it will take you to humble yourself, to prostrate, to beg the person, kneel down, beg the person, and take responsibility. Take responsibility for the mistakes you have made, for the hurt you have caused the other person. Don't try to justify the wrong you have caused another person. Don't try to justify it. If you try to justify it, then you can't forgive yourself. Take responsibility. Oh, I made a mistake. I've wronged this person. I've taken our sincerity and our transparency for granted. I've taken his trust for granted. And now I've left him hurt. I've left her hurting. Take responsibility for it. Then the next thing to do is to seek forgiveness. It is very important. It is very important. One of the ways by which you can forgive yourself is to let out, is to vocalize the acceptance of your mistakes. A lot of time, especially for the older ones, they believe that because we find it difficult to own up to the wrong we have caused those who are younger. You see, a father that have wronged his child, finding it difficult to accept, to vocalize the wrong that he has caused his child. And now we find a way to appease the wrong. You have wronged your child. Now you are finding a way to appease the wrong by buying things, giving gifts, or whatever, my dear. That is a way to appease it, but that is not the right way to go about it. The first thing you need to do to go about it is to vocalize that you have wronged the person. Tell your child, I am sorry. What I did was wrong. Own up to it. I know it may take a certain heavy dose of humility. Now you need to do that. It is important. It is important for the mental sanity, for the mental sanity of that person that you have wronged, so that the person will not also be feeling stupid to have allowed you to hurt him or her. You need to vocalize that I'm sorry. Say it out. I'm sorry. Several times when I did something wrong to my wife, I had to say that. I have to say, I'm sorry, dear. I'm sorry. I didn't know or I knew, but I'm sorry for causing you this hurt. I'm sorry for making this mistake. You need to vocalize it. You don't just sweep it under the rug and accept that the person recognized that you have accepted or you have taken responsibility for your mistakes. No. You need to say it. Then if you need to do other things, then you can do that after. But first, you say it. That's the next thing after taking responsibility. You vocalize the wrong you have caused the person. It is very, very important. It is vital for you. It is a vital step for you to forgive yourself and move on. And much more important for the person to forgive himself or herself and move on too. Now, the next thing you need to do is to learn from your mistakes. Learn from the things you have done wrong. Learn from it and take steps to ensure that you don't repeat the same thing. I know you might have lost, you may not be able to restore that relationship again. You may not be able to bring back that lady to accept you again. You may not be able to bring that guy to accept you again. But I want to tell you this, it is very important that you move on. Learn from your mistakes and learn not to learn not to repeat the same mistakes. You will not be able to restore that relationship that you have, the relationship perfectly again, but learn to move on. Learn to learn from the things you have done wrong and avoid making a repetition of them. Then the last thing I will tell you on this, after you have learned from the mistake, is to believe that you deserve another chance. Believe it. Believe it. Oh, don't feel, that's because I've lost that girl, because I've lost that guy, I cannot get a fantastic person again. I'm telling you, there's a God of a second chance. There's a God of another chance. Believe that you can still get a fantastic person. But when you get that fantastic person, try to avoid making a repetition of the mistakes of your past. It is very important. I don't know who this message is for tonight, but I feel it is for certain categories of people. You have been held back by the mistakes you have made, whether by allowing that person, your partner, to hurt you, or by hurting your partner, and you have found it difficult to forgive yourself. You have been in that position. You have lost so many fantastic relationships because of that. because you are finding it difficult to forgive yourself. I'm telling you tonight, you deserve another chance. Forgive yourself and move on. Forgive yourself and receive the reality of the better future that God has ordained for you. I believe that you have been able to learn something, you get something to it. And I believe that this teaching will bring healing to your soul and bring healing to you as a person and help you to actually access the reality of the great future that God has in store for you. It is not the end of your life, it's not the end of a good relationship for you. Pick up from where you have stopped and move on. It is a great future for you. It's a great future for you. Your tomorrow is greater than what you have seen in the past. And I believe that you have testimony to smile again. Till I come away next week. Stay safe. God bless you. And bye.